This is the Work Smart Hypnosis podcast, session number 94, Guzalia Davis on energetic hypnosis.
Welcome to the Work Smart Hypnosis podcast with Jason Linett, your professional resource for hypnosis training and outstanding business success. Here's your host, Jason Linett.
Welcome back. As always, it's Jason Linett here with another great hypnosis conversation. And chances are you've likely not yet heard of Guzalia Davis. Guzalia and I first met a couple of years ago as she actually attended one of my hypnosis trainings. That she had reached out to me and expressed an interest in learning hypnosis. And as you'll hear here, the rest is history. As ever since then, she has really, truly jumped in terms of building up the skills of working with clients, learning the mechanisms of running her own hypnosis business, and actively now seeing clients, whether on a one-to-one basis, a group format, in her own home, through the wonders of the interwebs, and all wonderful things inside of this. Guzalia is originally from Russia. She's been living in Maryland ever since 2002. And what I love about her is this sort of no-nonsense approach that she brings to her work, something that I had noticed even back in the days of the training, just a straightforward nature to it that as we work with our clients, it's again, you're going to hear themes inside of this conversation about delving into the deep structure of what actually is going on with the client, how to better serve our clients and help them to create changes in their lives, and some really interesting insights as to the real value of producing content. She is a published author. Visit the Work Smart Hypnosis show notes in terms of this session to get a link to her book and links to her website as well. So let's jump right in. This is session number 94, Guzalia Davis on energetic hypnosis.
Well, I'm different from normal people, and I really like entering altered state of mind is very important for me.
Yes. To
be able to do things that I do. And I don't even remember how and when I learned it. This is something I've always done.
Yeah.
Now, when people come to me for help, I try to teach them how to do that. And I think I told you before when I joined you for the course that I had trouble keeping people awake. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, I would do a healing circle and I'd have like 50 people coming and every one of them will fall asleep and it'll be very, very difficult to wake them up. So through that experience, I realized not all of us are the same, and we need different approach when it comes to like meditation and hypnosis. And then, what is the better way to learn things if not coming to a professional? That's how I found you.
And the hypnosis nowadays, and even before, is only a component of what you're doing. Just to give some perspective here, you mentioned it's part of other things. What are some of those other things that you're doing?
Hypnosis is a tool.
Yes,
a skill. I do healing. Mm-hmm. I do energy work. And I do spiritual coaching, I would say. Because when people get physical illness, disease, whatever problem, it's already like a late stage of a problem. Mm-hmm. It starts in our attitude, in our beliefs, and we create with our emotions and feelings, we create this energy, and only with time it manifests on the physical level. So changing your body, working with the physical problem, although it might be helpful, but it doesn't resolve the core issue. You have to go back much farther to change it, and hypnosis is very helpful. Very effective.
So then with the energy work that you've been doing, as you added the hypnosis into that, what would you say, if anything, opened up for you?
It changed everything. Like, even if I work directly with the energy, with electromagnetic field, and I can clear it, I can, so to speak, patch it up, and person would feel better. But they will be back in a month or two because the reason why they had the illness is still there, and hypnosis can resolve that.
So not just dealing with the present, but also in your perspective, going in and dealing with the past as well.
Yes.
So then let's kind of run through this briefly then. Someone is now working with you, and whether they're working with you in person nowadays, or I know you also do a fair amount of work via Skype. What's kind of that journey that you're going to be taking them through?
Well, kind of, you have to figure out what their beliefs are,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe just tweaking that will be enough.
Is there an example of that you can share?
It's hard for me to categorize. There's so many.
It's early.
We're all so very different. It's like, okay, for example, right now, and this is not something I imagine I will ever do, but right now at this moment, 90% of my clients are male,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the males that have difficulties in the bedroom. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm like last frontier because I've already been through different doctors, tried whatever options are there, and nothing worked.
Yes.
This is why they come to me. And this is how I would actually say at the first appointment. Do you want me to tell you sleep better and eat better and exercise, or you want the real answer?
Ooh, I love that.
And it's like nobody likes what I say, but this is the truth. When you're not living up to your full potential, you become an impotent, literally. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
When it's not by anyone's measurement but your own. If you are not the man you believe you can be, your body reacts in different ways. You understand?
Yes, and it's interesting because in so many different issues that people would come in, people are calling us as the hypnotist for the symptom, for the behavior that's going on. Yet meanwhile, that's very often a reflection of everything else that's going on in their life in that moment.
Exactly. So we just go analyzing what's going on in their life, and it becomes very obvious why it's happening. And if a person was raised certain way and certain beliefs were installed from the very childhood, and there's a lot of conditioning going on, whether it's religious, social, or whatever in this particular family, there is no better way to peel all this conditioning, limits, and beliefs than hypnosis.
Yeah.
The process goes very fast and very effective.
Outstanding. So is there a certain route that once you're actually into that hypnosis session, just to get into some of the specifics here, is there a certain route that you're often taking them on?
Usually I would use their own language.
Mm-hmm.
I did duplicate your forms, intake forms.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked them to write things. And when I do hypnosis, I actually read the language. It's like if a man says, I feel like a fraud, I'm full of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, they would say like this. Then I'll use the same language in hypnosis. Let's peel all these layers of bullshit, literally.
Yeah.
And it works. You see, our human being is like a vessel. Only so much you can fit in of whatever it is, your beliefs, your energy, your talents. And you always want to put something new, something better. But if there is no space available, you can't do this. You need to clear old junk first to create space for something new and better to come in.
Yeah. Which brings to mind a question that I'd love to hear your thoughts now that you've been, actively working with people for some time now. Is there a sequencing? I'm sure there's also the client-centered answer to this, but from your perspective, do we clear the past and then build the map towards the future, or do we start with the future and then clear up the past?
Depends on the person.
Yeah.
Sometimes they come and they're so confused of where they are now and even what they want. They're confused. And sometimes when they feel so lost, I think it's easier to create a clear image of the future of what they want and take it from there. Like creating an image of future, of the perfect future for them, and then kind of going back, clearing out junk, and pave the pathway that will bring them to the future they want.
Yes. So then as you're working with your clients, I'm curious to ask, because I'm looking through, I'm on your website at the moment here now, and mentioning some of the other training that you've done, some before, some after when we first met. How is it that, we'd often use the phrase borrowing from Melissa Tiers, that of integrative hypnosis, integrating several different modalities appropriately together. How does the hypnosis fit into the energy work? How does the energy work fit into the hypnosis for you? Or are we all talking about the same conversation and just labeling it in different ways?
I think just like a human being, we're not like a flat slab of granite. We're a multifaceted diamond.
Yes.
And how many sides of you you're willing to expose and show to people. The same with modalities. If you are like, my goal is to help people heal, okay? And it doesn't matter to me what tools I'm going to use.
Mm-hmm.
So the healing would be that multifaceted diamond for me. If I have many, many, many sides of it, then it's better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So then how is it that you're spending most of your time these days? I know you see clients at the moment, correct me on this, 2 different locations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at home. That's actually my favorite.
Yeah.
And I know you didn't really approve that.
No, I do.
But I love working from home.
No, now I have to defend. No, the brief version of it is it's something that can be done extremely well. However, I've interacted with many who haven't done it well, and I'm sure you're doing it quite well. There's the brief anecdote of a hypnosis meetup at a local hypnotist home office, where as we walked in, you immediately saw not only dirty dishes in the sink, which I'm guilty of leaving this morning myself, so can't throw the rock too hard, but then also the spouse laying on the sofa watching TV in his boxer shorts, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah. Welcome to the office. Yeah, so we can make it.
I promise I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't do that. No, so I do have 2 locations, actual offices. I work from home, I do Skype, and I also do group hypnosis at the local library. And I go out and speak a lot. And actually, that changed for me too recently once I published the book.
Yes.
Like, I'll give you an example. There were just a couple of particular organizations I wanted to get in and go speak, and I was declined. And now that I have book published, they actually approached me on their own. And they actually paying me to come in.
Yes.
So that's kind of flipped upside down for me, and I'm happy about that.
I'd share a brief anecdote here, which by all means model this story, or let's use better language, steal this brilliant piece of language. There's a man by the name of John St. Germain that back when I did the inaugural event in 2009, what John does is group corporate palm reading. He travels around and he's working in a corporate environment at some sort of event and has everybody hold up their hand, and he does a reading of these people in a group setting. So it's fun and interactive. Okay, you have this line. Everybody look at your hand if you have this line. And his introduction basically comes across as, of course, we're talking about a field of study that there's questions about, that people would have concerns about. I'm paraphrasing here. However, I'd recommend reading some of the best-selling books on this subject, because you learn that through history, it's a model of character reading rather than predicting the future. I highly recommend these books. I wrote all of them. Everybody hold up your hand. Which talk about a rock star moment.
Yeah.
So let's rewind that back then. So the decision to write the book, and share with us the title of that, and then what that's done and some of the process and some of the results of it too, please.
The title is Practical Manual to Past Life Regression. Mm-hmm. And I am a very practical person. When I read a book, I want the heart of it. I don't want to waste my time flipping through pages of just collection of stories or experiences. I need the real meat. Mm-hmm. We're all very busy now. We don't have time to waste, and this is what I try to do in this book. It's very condensed information, very practical. You can literally open it and actually apply it to your business. Mm-hmm. There is a step-by-step guide how to do past life regression and how to actually turn it into cash.
Yeah. So was this a book written for the practitioner? Was this a book written for the general public?
For both.
Mm-hmm.
For both. Even not a professional hypnotist can do that.
Yeah.
I describe process very thoroughly.
Which there's something to be said about creating that hub, creating that home base where everything then filters from. So, share how that approach to giving speeches and giving talks has changed as a result of that.
Not sure if I understood it.
You mentioned that before it was a little difficult to get the foot in the door, and now that you can add author to the resume, how has that changed?
Well, before I had to be very proactive and call myself and sometimes beg,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes offer to split profit, different ways. And now I just have to answer phone when they call me.
Yeah.
It's very different.
It's nice little change there. So then how is it, just to kind of bring it together then, how is it that most people are tracking you down in terms of working with you as a client?
It's easier for them to find me online because, all about Google.
Mm-hmm.
My book is on Amazon, and it links to my website, and my name pops up everywhere. And then plus, I did series of videos that I put on YouTube, and it helps my search too.
Yes.
And the videos it's a magic on its own. Okay, you get to introduce yourself and show who you are before they even call you.
Yes.
And it's very, very helpful. I don't have to waste time talking to people that potentially are not my clients.
Mm-hmm.
When they see me on videos or read my book, they kind of have an understanding who I am and whether I will be helpful to them.
Yeah, you're right. In many ways, it's conditioning them for that better response. There's something that I do in my phone consults these days, both with a student, both with clients, where it's just the simple question of, hey, have you watched the videos on the page? And as soon as they say, I've watched all of them, it's a much more directed phone call at that point. It's also a mechanism that's helping to condition that client to be our ideal client.
Yes, I agree. And also, because I do not just hypnosis, for me it was very, very helpful. People would just stumble upon my videos on YouTube and watch few of them, and then I get called. I want to come and talk to you. My normal question be, what is your issue? What would you like to work on? And they'll be, I just want to come talk to you. And they don't care what is my training, what modalities I use. They just want to come talk to me because I have something that will be helpful to them, even though particularly they can't pinpoint.
Which, to pull sort of to highlight the business strategy that's inside of that, I get so many calls, I get so many emails from people that are going, how do I get up in the search engines? How do I get up in the results? And to hear this exact story right now, it's about creating content. It's about creating that material that people can interact with that logically guides to your information and guides them to that next step.
Yes, exactly. And also perhaps not focusing on marketing particular modality, but instead show who you are as a human being,
right?
What you're about, and market yourself. Because there are many hypnotists. Why should they pick you in particular,
Mm-hmm. Which you're right, that in this mindset very often where we might have more than one skill, I've seen, some people in the wellness industries that are massage and Reiki and hypnosis and a little bit of everything. And it's almost as if they're giving their client a menu as to which service do you want. And you've heard me say this already, the phrase of, if your client knew exactly what they needed and how to do it, they wouldn't be calling you in the first place.
Exactly.
So it's to position yourself as in your case, as that healer, as that person, that practitioner who can choose the right tactics, the right approach at the right time to help them put that process together.
Exactly, yes. And I did experiment. When I just started out, I experimented with all of this. I did put up a few different websites where I separated modalities. And I even had two separate websites, one particular for weight loss and another for smoking cessation. None of them really worked for me. Where I marketed specific thing, or a specific modality, it didn't really bring me a lot of clients. When I just, put it aside and start to show who I am without worrying if I'm going to be perceived like a strange person.
Yeah.
You would say woo-woo. That's what actually brought me clients.
Well, I'm on your site at the moment. I love the phrase. I like to be straightforward about who I am. It's up to you how you're going to take it as a friendly introduction or warning. And this is where I should maybe publish this video. I think I sent it to you at some point. I went off on a little bit of a rant online recently because there's a lot of videos on people's websites. Hi, I'll make up a name. My name is John Smith, and welcome to the John Smith Hypnosis. It's just so staged, and it's so uncomfortable, as opposed to realizing that little Lens is another human being, and to talk to them, and at the same time, we're putting that energy out as to who we'd like to work with, and in some way, we're also putting that energy out as to who we'd prefer not to work with as well.
Exactly.
So what is it that you're working on these days? Is it business as usual, is keeping up with the clients, or are there new things on the landscape for you?
Well, I have few projects I try to focus on. I'm working on a new book, which is not about hypnosis this time. I working on my higher degree. And I actually, because I work with so many men now, and like they may come with a physical issue, but there's so much more behind it. And most of my clients are converted now to, there are some men that I worked over a year. They come maybe twice a month or once a month. Mm-hmm. And it's not just hypnosis, it's more coaching now.
Yes.
And from this experience, I can see that men go through kind of similar stages in their life, dealing with similar issues. So this new project I'm working on, I want to build a platform where those men can come together and support each other, and where I would teach them as a group the tools that can help them. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of very passionate about that. Outstanding.
So where can people find you online?
At the moment, I have two websites, hypnosismage.com and I teach tantra.
Yes.
tantrawellness.net, and I have my YouTube channel, which is just under my name, Guzalia Davis, and it's it.
Outstanding. Well, it's been great reconnecting with you.
Thank you, Jason.
Jason here, and thank you once again for interacting with this program. Thanks to those of you who have left their feedback online. Head over to worksmarthypnosis.com/iTunes to leave your review over on the iTunes podcast page as well. I'd also encourage you to check out hypnoticworkers.com. This is the entire digital access library to my Hypnosis for Change training. Everything from hypnotic inductions to deepeners to methods for change you will not find anywhere else. Simply put, we don't need any more hypnosis scripts. Instead, what we need are transcripts. And inside of Hypnotic Workers, inside the Digital Access Library, there are real client sessions from start to finish. And these things are broken down into the format of digital downloads and full PDF transcriptions as well, plus some really outstanding information in terms of how do you actually put the entire process together. Check that out, hypnoticworkers.com.
Thanks for listening to the Work Smart Hypnosis podcast at WorkSmartHypnosis.com.